The Valorian Council research vessel drifted through the darkness of space, silent and dying. First Scholar. Zixanth pressed his delicate appendages against the navigation console, watching the red emergency lights pulse across his translucent skin. The soft glow made his internal organs visible, a reminder of how fragile his species truly was. "We have maybe 6 hours," said Second Engineer Plix. Her voice trembled through the translation matrix. "After that, the asteroid field will tear us apart." Zixanth looked at the viewing screen. The massive rocks floated toward them, each one glowing with deadly radiation. Their ship's engines were completely dead. A critical failure had shut down everything except life support and communications. They were helpless, waiting to be crushed or poisoned by radiation. "Send the distress signal," Zixanth said quietly. "Use diplomatic frequency Alpha 7. The Gentle Collective should receive it within 2 hours." The Gentle Collective was a federation of peaceful species. They helped others. They sent aid ships to vessels in trouble. They would come with soft voices and careful hands. They would understand that Valorians needed low gravity and dim light. They would save them. Plix activated the signal. It shot out into space, carrying their coordinates and a simple message. "Research vessel in critical danger. Engines failed. Requesting immediate assistance." What they didn't know was that the Gentle Collective was 3 systems away, too far to help in time. But someone else was close. Someone very different. The Terran Deep Space Corps vessel Indomitable was mapping a nearby star system when Lieutenant Sarah Park noticed something on her screen. "Captain, I'm picking up a distress signal." Captain Maria Reeves walked over, her boots making heavy sounds on the metal floor. She was a tall woman with dark skin and short black hair. "What kind of signal?" "Diplomatic frequency. It's not meant for us," Lieutenant Park frowned. "But whoever sent it is in real trouble. They're drifting toward an asteroid field." Reeves looked at the data. Her jaw tightened. "How long do they have?" "Maybe 5 hours, Captain." "And how far are we?" 43 minutes at full speed." Reeves didn't hesitate. "Change course. Full speed ahead. And prep the engineering team. Someone out there needs help, and we're the only ones close enough to give it." The crew moved quickly. They had all trained for emergency rescues. Earth's space program was young, but humans learned fast. They had to. Their world had taught them that survival meant adapting or dying. Lieutenant Marcus Chen started preparing repair equipment. Dr. Sarah Rodriguez checked the medical bay. Everyone knew what to do. On Earth, you helped people in trouble. It was simple as that. The Indomitable accelerated, pushing through space at speeds that would have terrified most species. Human ships were built tough. They had to be. Humans came from a world that tried to kill them every day. On the Valorian ship, Plix suddenly made a sound of confusion. "First Scholar, a vessel is approaching." Zixanth felt a wave of relief. "Already? The collective must have been closer than we thought. I don't think so." Plix's voice was worried now. "The ship's signature doesn't match collective protocols. And it's moving very fast." "How fast?" "Impossibly fast. And the ship design..." Plix brought up an image. "It's heavily armored. This looks like a military vessel." Fear spread through Zixanth's body. "Pirates? Unknown. They're hailing us." "Open the channel." A face appeared on the screen. Zixanth had never seen anything like it. The creature had bilateral symmetry and strange forward-facing eyes. Its skin was dark and smooth. When it spoke, its teeth showed. They were flat in front but sharp on the sides. "Predator teeth. This is Captain Maria Reeves of the Terran vessel Indomitable. We received your distress signal." "We're coming to help." "Terran?" Zixanth managed to say. "I'm not familiar with that species. We're human. From Earth. We'll be there in 35 minutes. Prepare for docking." The screen went dark. Plix immediately searched the ship's database. "First Scholar, I'm looking up Earth now." "What does it say?" Plix's skin turned a pale color. "In Valorians, that meant terror. It says Earth is a Class 12 death world. Prohibited for contact. Extreme hazard rating." "What?" Zixanth rushed over to look. His hearts beat faster as he read the data. Gravity. 1.0 G. That was 3 times Valoria's gravity. How did anything survive that? Atmosphere, 21% oxygen. That was toxic. Poison levels, weather systems, capable of destroying cities. Native life. Thousands of predator species. Planet classification. Hyper-competitive ecosystem. This can't be right, Zixanth whispered. No intelligent species could evolve on a world like this. They're getting closer, Plick said. Should we refuse docking? Zixanth looked at the asteroid field. They were out of time. We have no choice. If we refuse, we die anyway. The next 30 minutes felt like hours. The entire crew gathered in the main chamber, watching the view screen. They saw the human ship approach. It was huge, dark gray metal covered in armor plating. Weapons were visible on the hull. This was not a gentle rescue vessel. This was a ship built for war. They're requesting docking permission, Plick said quietly. Grant it, Zixanth said, and everyone stay calm. We don't know their intentions. The human ship connected with a heavy clang that shook their vessel. Valorians grabbed onto things to steady themselves. Then they heard footsteps. Heavy footsteps. Getting closer. The airlock door opened with a hiss of pressurized air. 5 figures entered. They were massive. Each one stood at least 2 meters tall. They wore thick suits that looked like armor. Their helmets had dark visors. They moved with confident, powerful steps. One of them carried equipment that must have weighed 50 kilograms, but held it easily in one hand. Captain Reeves removed her helmet. Her face was exposed now. Those predator eyes scanned the room, taking in everything. When she spoke, her voice was strong and commanding. I'm Captain Reeves. We're here to help. What's your situation? Zixanth tried to speak, but his voice came out weak. Our engines failed. We're drifting into the asteroid field. The radiation will kill us. One of the humans, a male with light skin and brown hair, stepped forward. I'm Lieutenant Chen, Chief Engineer. May I see your engine room? Yes, of course. As Chen walked past, Zixanth noticed something disturbing. The human wasn't bothered by the gravity on their ship. Humans were supposed to come from 3 times this gravity. This felt light to them. And the temperature was comfortable for Valorians, around 15 degrees Celsius. The humans didn't seem cold at all. What kind of world had these creatures come from? Chen examined the engines for only a few minutes before returning. We can fix this, but we need to work fast. We'll need to go outside and replace some components. The radiation field is getting closer. Outside? Plick said in horror. The radiation will kill you in minutes. Chen smiled. It looked frightening. Our suits are rated for much worse. We'll be fine. Captain Reeves nodded. My team will handle the repairs. We'll need about 4 hours. Is your life support stable? Yes, Zixanth said. For now. Good, we'll get you out of here. Reeves looked at her team. Let's move, people. We've got work to do. The humans left to begin repairs, moving with purpose and speed. Zixanth stood in the quiet chamber, his mind racing. They had called for help from the gentlest species in the galaxy. Instead, they had been answered by creatures from a nightmare world. Deathworlders, predators, warriors. But they had said they were here to help. Zixanth pulled up Earth's file again and stared at the warning label. Prohibited world, extreme hazard, do not approach. Too late for that, he thought. The Deathworlders were already here. The human called Lieutenant Chen stood in the Valorian engine room, looking at the broken machinery with calm eyes. Behind him, 2 other humans examined different parts of the system. They spoke to each other in their strange language, using short words and hand gestures. Zixanth watched from the doorway. He had never felt so small. The humans had to bend down to fit through the corridors. Their shoulders nearly touched both walls. Everything on the Valorian ship was built for small, delicate creatures. The humans moved through it like giants exploring a dollhouse. The main power coupling is completely fried, Chen said, turning to Zixanth. We'll need to replace it. Do you have spare parts? No, Zixanth admitted. We weren't prepared for this kind of damage. No problem. We brought our own equipment. Chen tapped his communication device. Captain, we'll need the heavy repair kit and the portable power generator. Copy that, Reeves's voice came back. Sending it over now. Within minutes, 3 more humans arrived carrying massive boxes of equipment. Zixanth watched in amazement as they lifted and moved things that should have required mechanical assistance. Their strength was impossible. Even in the low gravity of the Valorian ship, the equipment must have weighed hundreds of kilograms. How are you doing that? Zixanth couldn't help asking. One of the humans, a young woman with red hair, smiled. Doing what? Lifting those containers. They're too heavy. The woman looked confused for a moment, then understanding crossed her face. Oh, right, your gravity is really light. This feels easy to us, but How much do you weigh on your own world? Me, about 60 kilograms. That's pretty average for a human woman. Zixanth did the math in his head. 3 times the gravity meant these creatures regularly moved their own weight, plus equipment through crushing gravitational forces. Every day, just to live normally. We need to start the exterior repairs, Chen said. Is there a place we can exit for EVA work? You're really going outside? Second engineer Plix had entered the room. Her voice was filled with fear. The radiation levels are rising. Our sensors show it's already dangerous. Chen checked his wrist computer. Yes, I'm seeing about 200 millisieverts per hour. That's not great, but our suits can handle it for 4 or 5 hours. We'll be done in 3. 200 millisieverts would kill us in less than an hour, Plix said. Really? Chen looked genuinely surprised. Humans can survive brief exposure to way more than that. We'll be fine. Zixanth felt dizzy. These creatures could survive radiation that would kill his entire species. What kind of world was Earth? What happened there that made such resistance necessary? The humans began suiting up for EVA work. Their suits were thick, covered in layers of protection. They checked each other's seals with practiced efficiency. Then they entered the airlock and disappeared outside. Zixanth and Plix watched through the external cameras. The humans moved around the ship's exterior with confidence. They used tools that sparked and burned. They replaced components while floating in space. The radiation field glowed around them, but they worked steadily as if it wasn't there. How long have humans been in space? Plix asked quietly. Let me check. Zixanth searched the database. It says here they achieved spaceflight only 200 years ago. That's nothing. We've been spacefaring for 3,000 years. And they already have ships like this? Zixanth looked at the data on the human vessel. Their ship has weapons that could destroy a small moon. It has shields that can withstand direct hits from asteroids. And according to this, it's classified as a research vessel, not a warship. If that's their research ship, Plix said slowly, what do their warships look like? Neither of them wanted to answer that question. Hours passed. The humans worked in shifts. When one team finished, another team went out. Zixanth noticed they worked for incredibly long periods. Human workers stayed active for 8, 10, even 12 hours before taking breaks. Valorians needed to rest every 4 hours. During one of the breaks, Captain Reeves invited Zixanth to the human ship for a meeting. He hesitated, then accepted. He needed to understand these creatures. The inside of the Indomitable was shocking. Everything was built large and heavy. The corridors were wide. The ceiling was high. The gravity was set to what humans called standard, 1 full G. Zixanth felt crushed. Every step was difficult. His breathing became labored. Are you okay? Reeves asked, noticing his struggle. Your gravity. It's too strong. Oh, damn, sorry. Reeves quickly adjusted a control panel. I should have thought of that. Lowering it now, the pressure eased. Zixanth could breathe again. Thank you. Come on, let's get you to the observation deck. The view is good from there. They walked through the ship. Zixanth saw human crew members working at various stations. Some were exercising in a gym, lifting heavy weights and running on machines for fun. They were making themselves stronger on purpose. The observation deck had large windows showing the asteroid field. Several humans sat at tables eating meals and talking. They looked relaxed, despite being in a dangerous situation. Want something to eat? Reeves asked. We have food synthesizers. No, thank you. Our biology is very different. Right. Reeves pulled out a small package and opened it. Inside was some kind of food bar. She took a bite. Zixanth's scanner automatically analyzed the food. His eyes went wide. Captain, that food contains capsaicin. Yeah, it's got a little hot sauce flavor. I like spicy food. Capsaicin is a neurotoxin. It causes pain receptors to activate. Why would you eat poison? Reeves laughed. It's not really poison to us. We just like the sensation. Makes food more interesting. This was insane. Humans ate things that caused pain. On purpose. For enjoyment. A young human approached their table. He was perhaps 20 years old with dark skin and a friendly smile. Excuse me, Captain. Dr. Rodriguez wants to know if our guests need any medical supplies. This is Ensign Williams, Reeves said. He's one of our youngest crew members. How old are you? Zixanth asked. 22, sir. And you're already in space? Don't humans need more training? Williams grinned. I've been training since I was 18. 4 years in the academy. Before that, I grew up in the Mars colonies. Mars? The red planet in your system? Yes, sir. Zixanth checked his database quickly. Mars was barely habitable. Freezing temperatures, thin atmosphere, massive dust storms. You grew up there? Born and raised. It's home. Humans raised their children on hostile worlds. They sent their young into space. They prepared the next generation for danger and hardship. This wasn't just a tough species. This was a species that deliberately exposed itself to challenges to become stronger. Why did you come to help us? Zixanth asked suddenly. The signal wasn't meant for you. You could have ignored it. Reeves looked at him with those predator eyes. Because you needed help. That's reason enough, but we're strangers. Different species. You don't know us and doesn't matter. Where we come from, if someone's in trouble, you help them. Simple as that. Reeves finished her food and stood up. Let me show you something. She led Zixanth to another room. Inside there were pictures on the walls. Images of Earth. He saw massive storms spiraling across blue oceans. Mountains that reached into the clouds. Forests so dense that light barely reached the ground. Animals with teeth and claws. Volcanoes erupting with fire. That's home, Reeves said softly. It's beautiful and deadly. It kills us sometimes. Earthquakes, tsunamis, diseases, predators. But we love it anyway. And it taught us something important. What? Life is precious because it's fragile. When we see others in danger, we remember all the times we were in danger. All the times someone helped us. That's why we came for you. Because someone once came for us. Zixanth felt something strange. These creatures were predators. They came from Nightmare World. They could probably kill him with one hand. But they had traveled across space to save his people. They worked for hours in deadly radiation. They asked for nothing in return. An alarm suddenly blared through the ship. A crew member's voice came over the speakers. Captain, to the bridge. We have incoming vessels. 3 ships. They're not friendly. Reeves' expression changed instantly. The friendly look vanished. Her face became hard and focused. Stay here, she told Zixanth. Then she ran toward the bridge. Zixanth followed as quickly as he could. When he reached the bridge, he saw the display screen showing 3 large ships approaching. His blood went cold. Those are Kresh ships, he said. Pirates, Reeves studied the screens. Pirates? Are they the ones who damaged your ship? Yes, they sabotage vessels, then wait for them to become helpless. Then they return to take everything. And they're coming back now. Reeves' voice was calm, but something dangerous lurked underneath. Interesting timing. Captain, we need to run, Zixanth said desperately. Kresh are brutal. They have weapons. They want, so do we, Reeves said simply. She touched her communication panel. All hands battle stations. This is not a drill. Around the bridge, humans moved quickly to their positions. No panic, no fear. Just quick, efficient movements. They had done this before. Zixanth realized something terrifying. The humans weren't going to run. They were going to fight. These Deathworlders were about to show him what they did best. The Kresh ships moved closer, their weapons visible on all screens. Zixanth stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, watching the humans prepare for battle. His entire body trembled with fear. The Valorians were peaceful. They had no experience with violence. But the Kresh did. The Kresh loved violence. Incoming transmission, Lieutenant Park announced. Put it on screen, Captain Reeves ordered. A face appeared. The Kresh captain had 4 eyes and gray-scaled skin. His mouth was filled with sharp teeth. When he spoke, it sounded like rocks grinding together. Unknown vessel, you are interfering with our salvage claim. Leave now or be destroyed. Reeves stood up from her chair. She looked directly at the Kresh captain with no fear in her eyes. This isn't salvage. This is a distressed vessel with living crew. We're protecting them. Leave now or face the consequences. The Kresh captain's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. Then he laughed. It was a cruel sound. Protecting? You're in a research ship. We have 3 warships. Do you want to die for these weak creatures? Research ship, Reeves said slowly. Doesn't mean unarmed. Final warning, leave. The Kresh captain stopped laughing. You have 1 minute to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. After that we fire. The screen went dark. Shields to maximum, Reeves said calmly. Weapons online. Park, get me a tactical analysis. 3 Kresh vessels, Park replied quickly. Each one has plasma cannons and missile systems. They're spreading out to surround us. Smart, Reeves said. Chen, how long until the Valorian ship can move on its own? Chen's voice came through the communication system. We need another 2 hours, Captain. You've got 1 hour. Work faster. Reeves turned to her pilot. Kai, bring us about. Put the Valorian ship behind us. We'll be their shield. Yes, Captain, Lieutenant Kai responded. His hands moved across the controls. The Indomitable turned smoothly. Zixanth couldn't believe what he was seeing. The humans were actually going to fight.
Captain Reeves, please.
We should run. The crash will kill us all. Reeves looked at him. Her face was serious but not afraid. We don't leave people behind. That's not what humans do. But you'll die. Maybe, Reeves smiled slightly. But probably not. We're pretty hard to kill. Before Zixanth could respond, the crash ships opened fire. Bright plasma bolts shot through space toward the Indomitable. They hit the shields and exploded in bursts of light. The ship shook slightly. Shields holding at 97%, Park reported. Return fire, Reeves ordered. The Indomitable's weapons activated. Zixanth had seen weapons before, but these were different. They fired with incredible speed and accuracy. Missiles launched from hidden bays. Energy beams cut through space. Everything happened so fast. One crash ship took a direct hit. Its shields flickered and failed. The ship's engines went dark. Target disabled, Park said. The other two are changing tactics. The remaining crash ships moved apart, trying to flank the human vessel. They fired from different angles. More impacts. More explosions. The bridge lights flickered. Shields at 78%, Park reported. Reeves touched her console. Kai, remember your training. Use the asteroids. Copy that, Captain. Hang on, everyone. The Indomitable suddenly accelerated. Zixanth grabbed onto a nearby console to keep from falling. The ship dove toward the asteroid field. The massive rocks loomed large on the screen. They were going to crash. But Kai was an expert pilot. The ship threaded between asteroids with impossible precision. Behind them, the crash ships followed. One wasn't fast enough. It clipped an asteroid and spun out of control. 2 down, Kai said. 1 to go. The last crash ship was more careful. It stayed back, firing from a distance. Its captain had realized these humans were dangerous. He's smart, Reeves muttered. Park, can we get a missile lock? Not at this range. He's keeping the asteroids between us. Reeves thought for a moment. Then she smiled. It was not a nice smile. Kai, emergency stop. All reverse thrusters. Captain? Kai sounded confused. Do it, the Indomitable suddenly stopped. In space, objects don't slow down unless something stops them. The ship reversed direction so quickly that Zixanth's vision went dark for a moment. When it cleared, he saw the last crash ship directly ahead. The crash had been expecting the humans to keep running. Instead, the humans had turned around. Fire everything, Reeves ordered. Every weapon on the Indomitable fired at once. The crash ship tried to dodge, but it was too late. Missiles hit first, destroying its shields. Energy weapons followed, cutting into its hull. Within seconds, the crash ship was dead in space, smoking and powerless. Silence filled the bridge. Then Lieutenant Park spoke quietly. All 3 targets disabled, Captain. No casualties on our side, Reeves nodded. Good work, everyone. Kai, nice flying. Park, keep scanning for more ships. Let's make sure there aren't any surprises. Zixanth couldn't speak. He had just watched humans fight 3 warships and win. They had used tactics he had never seen before. They moved their ship like a weapon. They thought like predators. And they did it all to protect people they had just met. First Scholar? Reeves was looking at him with concern. Are you all right? Yes, Zixanth struggled to find words. You defeated them so easily. Not easily, Reeves corrected. We just had better training. The crash expected an easy fight. They got a real one instead. A Valorian face appeared on the communication screen. It was Plix calling from the Valorian ship. First Scholar, are you safe? What happened? We're fine, Zixanth said. The humans, they fought the crash, they won. Plix's skin turned pale again. They won? Against 3 warships? Yes, there was a long pause. Then Plix said something that Zixanth had been thinking. What kind of species are these humans? Over the next hour, while Chen and his team finished the repairs, Zixanth learned more about humanity. He talked with different crew members. Each conversation made Earth seem more impossible. Dr. Rodriguez told him about Earth medicine. I broke my leg once when I was hiking. The bone snapped completely in half. Doctors put it back together. 6 weeks later, I was running again. Your bones can heal? Zixanth was shocked. After breaking? Of course. Don't yours? No. A broken bone means permanent damage for Valorians. Rodriguez looked surprised. Really? Humans can heal from all kinds of injuries. Broken bones, torn muscles, even some organ damage. Our bodies are built to repair themselves. Ensign Williams told him about Earth sports. My favorite is called football. Two teams try to carry a ball into each other's territory. There's a lot of running and tackling. Tackling? Yeah, you crash into the other player to stop them. It's fun. You crash into each other. For fun? Sure, it teaches teamwork and strategy. Plus, it's a good workout. Sixth learned that humans regularly did things that would kill Valorians. They climbed mountains where the air was too thin to breathe. They swam in oceans with predators. They ran for hours just to see how far they could go. They ate foods that were toxic to most species. They exposed themselves to extreme temperatures. They did all of this casually as part of normal life. Why? Zixenth finally asked Captain Reeves. Why do humans do these dangerous things? Reeves thought about it. Because we can. Because it makes us stronger. Earth taught us that nothing is given freely. You have to earn survival. So we push ourselves. We test our limits. And when we find those limits, we work to go beyond them. But don't many humans die? Yes, Reeves said honestly. We're not invincible. We get hurt, we die. But that's part of life. We accept the risk because the alternative is staying safe and never growing. Lieutenant Chen's voice came through the communication system. Captain, repairs are complete. The Valorian ship can fly again. Excellent work, Chen. Return to the ship. Zixenth felt relief wash through him. They would survive. Thanks to these strange, dangerous kind humans from Earth. But then Park's voice cut through the relief. Captain, I'm picking up another signal. Long range. It's the Gentle Collective. They're responding to the original distress call. How far out are they? 3 hours, Reeves smiled. Perfect timing. They can escort our friends home safely. She turned to Zixenth. Looks like your original help is arriving after all. But they're too late, Zixenth said. If you hadn't come, but we did come. That's what matters. Zixenth looked at this human captain. She had risked her life and her crew for strangers. She had fought pirates to protect people she didn't know. She came from a world that would kill most species in minutes. But she used her strength to help others, not hurt them. Captain Reeves, Zixenth said slowly. I need to know something. Are all humans like you? Reeves laughed. Like me? No, some are braver. Some are smarter. Some are stronger. That's not what I meant. Are all humans protective? Reeves' expression became serious. We have bad humans too. Criminals, killers, evil people. We're not perfect. But most of us? Yes, most of us believe in protecting others. Earth taught us that we're stronger together. That we survive by helping each other. On the screen behind them, the Kresh ships floated dead in space. Evidence of what humans could do when threatened. But Zixenth understood now. The violence wasn't what defined humans. The protection was. They were dangerous because they came from a dangerous world. But they were good because they chose to be. Thank you, Zixenth said quietly. For saving us. You're welcome, Reeves replied. That's what Deathworlders do. The aftermath of the battle left everyone quiet. The Kresh ships floated in space, disabled but not destroyed. Captain Reeves had been careful about that. She wanted prisoners, not bodies. Park, send a security team to board the Kresh vessels, Reeves ordered. Take them into custody. Be careful. Yes, Captain. Zixenth watched as human soldiers prepared for boarding operations. They wore heavy armor and carried weapons. Each movement was precise and practiced. These weren't just scientists who could fight. These were warriors who could think. You're going to capture them? Zixenth asked. Why not just leave them here? Because they're pirates, Reeves explained. They hurt people. They need to face justice. We'll turn them over to the proper authorities. But they tried to kill you. Doesn't matter. We don't execute prisoners. That's not who we are. This confused Zixenth even more. Humans could be violent when necessary, but they had rules about it. They fought to protect, not to destroy. Where did this moral code come from? How did a species from a nightmare world develop such strong ethics? The boarding operation began. Through the security cameras, Zixenth watched human soldiers enter the first Kresh ship. The Kresh crew tried to resist. It was a mistake. The Kresh were bigger than humans. Each one stood nearly 3 meters tall with thick scales and powerful limbs. They should have won any physical fight. But they didn't understand what they were facing. One Kresh warrior charged at a human soldier. The human moved aside smoothly, letting the Kresh's momentum carry him past. Then the human struck with precise force at specific points on the crash's body. The warrior fell unconscious without the human even using her weapon. How did she do that? Zixanth breathed. Lieutenant Park glanced at the screen. That's Sergeant Rodriguez. She's trained in multiple combat systems. Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We learned how to disable opponents efficiently. You fought each other? We still do sometimes. Sports like boxing, wrestling, martial arts. We study combat like other species study art. It's part of our culture. Zixanth watched as more Kresh were captured. The humans moved like dancers, each action flowing into the next. They used the Kresh's own strength against them. They targeted weak points. They worked as teams, supporting each other. Within minutes, the first ship was secured. No casualties on either side, the security leader reported. Kresh crew is in custody. Good work, Reeves said. Move to the next ship. The pattern repeated on the second and third vessels. The Kresh fought hard, but they had never faced anything like humans before. Species from peaceful worlds didn't have this kind of combat experience. But humans did. Humans had evolved fighting for every meal, every territory, every resource. Fighting was in their DNA. While the boarding operations continued, Zixanth returned to the Valorian ship. His crew gathered around him, all asking questions at once. Are we safe? Who are these humans? What happened to the Kresh? Zixanth raised his appendages for silence. We're safe. The humans defeated the Kresh and are taking them prisoner. They protected us. Why? Asked young scholar Tixith. What do they want from us? Nothing, Zixanth said. They want nothing. They helped because we needed help. The crew was silent, trying to understand this concept. In their experience, nothing was free. Every action had a price, but humans seemed different. First scholar, Plick said quietly. I've been researching Earth more deeply. The things I'm finding, they're hard to believe. Show me. Plix pulled up data on a viewing screen. Images of Earth filled the display. Zixanth and the others stared in horror and fascination. This is a hurricane, Plix explained. Winds over 300 kilometers per hour. They happen regularly on Earth. Humans just wait for them to pass. Another image appeared. A massive wave of water crashing onto land. A tsunami, caused by underwater earthquakes, destroys everything in its path. Humans build warning systems and shelters. More images followed. Volcanoes erupting with molten rock. Tornadoes tearing through cities. Lightning storms that could vaporize anything they touched. Ice storms that froze entire regions. Heat waves that made the ground too hot to walk on. And humans just live there? Tixith asked in a small voice. They don't just live there, Plick said. They thrive. Look at this. She showed them images of human cities. Massive structures reaching into the sky. Millions of humans living together. Technology everywhere. Art, music, culture. They hadn't just survived their world. They had conquered it. Here's something interesting, Plix continued. Human history shows they almost went extinct several times. Ice ages, volcanic winters, disease outbreaks. Each time their population dropped to critical levels. But they survived. They adapted. They grew stronger. How many humans are there now? Zixanth asked. 15 billion across their home system. And they're expanding to other stars. 15 billion. The entire Valorian species numbered only 2 billion. And Valorians had been spacefaring for 3,000 years. Humans had been in space for 200 years and already had more people spread across more territory. They breed like prey species, Tixith observed. But they act like apex predators. That's exactly what they are, Zixanth said. Both. They're numerous enough to survive disasters, but strong enough to dominate their environment. Earth created the perfect survival species. A communication request came through. It was Captain Reeves. First Scholar Zixanth, would you and your crew like to join us for a meal? We've secured all the Kresh prisoners. The danger has passed, Zixanth accepted. An hour later, the Valorian leadership team was aboard the Indomitable again, in what humans called a dining hall. It was large and comfortable, with many tables and chairs. Human crew members sat eating and talking. They looked relaxed, as if they hadn't just been in a battle. Some were laughing. Others were playing a game with cards. The atmosphere was casual and friendly. Captain Reeves introduced them to various crew members. Each human had a story. Lieutenant Chen had grown up on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons. It's completely ice, he said cheerfully. We live in underground habitats. Surface temperature is -160 Celsius. How do you survive there? Zixanth asked. We built cities under the ice, used the moon's internal heat for power. It's actually pretty nice once you get used to it. Dr. Rodriguez was from Earth itself. I'm from a place called Brazil, rainforest region. Beautiful but deadly. Poisonous plants, venomous animals, diseases. Lost my grandfather to a snakebite when I was young. I'm sorry, Sixenth said. Rodriguez shrugged. It happens. Life is risky, but that's what makes it worth living. Ensign Williams talked about Mars. We had to wear suits outside until they finished terraforming. Even now, the atmosphere is thin, but humans are adapting. Kids born on Mars have slightly different physiology, bigger lungs, denser bones. We're evolving in real time. Every human had faced hardship. Everyone had lost someone or something, but they didn't let it stop them. They just kept going forward, adapting, growing, surviving. Can I ask something? Tixeth said suddenly. You're all so strong, so tough. Don't you ever get scared? The humans looked at each other. Then Ensign Williams laughed. Of course we get scared. Fear is natural. But you fought the Kresh without hesitation. Being scared doesn't mean you don't act, Captain Reeves explained. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what needs to be done despite the fear. Every human in this room has been terrified at some point. We just don't let it control us. Earth taught us that, Dr. Rodriguez added. Fear keeps you alive if you listen to it. But you can't let it paralyze you. You feel the fear, understand it, then move forward anyway. Zixanth thought about this. Valorians avoided fear. They built safe worlds with controlled environments. They eliminated danger wherever possible. But humans embraced danger. They walked into it willingly, using fear as a tool rather than a barrier. I think I understand now, Zixanth said slowly. Your world was so dangerous that you had to become comfortable with danger. You couldn't eliminate it, so you learned to live with it. Exactly, Reeves said. And once you accept that life is risky, you can focus on living instead of just surviving. A notification appeared on Reeves's communication device. The Gentle Collective has arrived. They are requesting to speak with you, First Scholar. Zixanth nodded. Of course. On the viewing screen, a face appeared. It was Ambassador Keltoth of the Gentle Collective, a soft-featured being with kind eyes. First Scholar Zixanth, we received your distress signal. We came as quickly as we could. Are you safe? Yes, Ambassador. Thanks to... Keltoth's expression changed as he saw the background. Are you on a human vessel? Yes, they responded to our distress call. Humans? Keltoth's voice filled with concern. First Scholar, humans are from a Class 12 death world. They're dangerous. You should evacuate immediately. Captain Reeves stepped into view of the screen. Ambassador Keltoth, I'm Captain Maria Reeves. We mean no harm. We simply responded to a distress call. Keltoth stared at her. You're human? Yes, sir. And you helped the Valorians? Yes, sir. We repaired their ship and defended them from Kresh pirates. They're safe now. Keltoth was silent for a long moment. Then he said, I apologize. Our data on humans is limited. We were told your species was dangerous. We can be, Reeves admitted, but we choose not to be. Most of the time. 3 days had passed since the battle. The Valorian ship was fully repaired and ready to travel. The Gentle Collective had sent escort vessels to guide them home safely. The Kresh prisoners were in custody, awaiting trial. Everything was resolved, but nothing felt the same. Zixanth stood in the observation deck of the Indomitable one last time, looking at the stars. Captain Reeves stood beside him, both silent. After everything they had experienced together, words felt insufficient. Your people will leave soon, Reeves said finally. Yes, the Gentle Collective is ready to escort us back to Valoria. Zixanth turned to look at her. I don't know how to thank you properly. You saved us, not just from the engine failure, but from the Kresh, from death itself. We did what anyone should do, Reeves said, but Zixanth could hear the humble acceptance in her voice. No, not anyone. The Gentle Collective is kind, but they couldn't have fought the Kresh. My people couldn't have worked in that radiation. Only humans could have done what you did. Zixanth paused. We were wrong about your species. Wrong how? We saw Earth's classification. Class 12 Death World. We read about the dangers, the predators, the disasters. We thought any species from such a place would be violent and cruel. We thought you would be monsters, Reeves smiled slightly. And now? Now I understand. Earth made you strong, yes, but it also made you compassionate. When you've faced death so many times, you understand how precious life is. When your world constantly threatens you, you learn to protect others. That's a very kind interpretation, Reeves said. It's the truth. I've seen your crew, Captain. I've talked with them. Every single human has a story of survival, and every single one chooses to use that strength to help others. That's not coincidence. That's your culture. They watched the stars together for a moment. Then Zixanth asked the question that had been bothering him. Captain, what will humanity do now? Will you keep exploring? Of course. There's a whole galaxy out there. We want to see it all. Even though most species will fear you, especially then. Fear comes from not understanding. Once species get to know us, they'll see we're not so scary. Some will never accept you, Zixanth warned. Some will always see you as threats. Then we'll prove them wrong. One act of kindness at a time. Reeves looked at him. That's why what happened here matters. You'll go back and tell your people about us. Other species will hear the story. Maybe next time they won't be so afraid when a human ship arrives. Zixanth understood. Humans were playing a long game. They knew they couldn't change the galaxy's opinion overnight. But they could change it slowly, through actions and patience. The Valorian Council wants to establish formal relations with Earth, Zixanth said. We want to open trade, share knowledge, maybe even exchange cultural ambassadors. We'd like that, Reeves said warmly. Earth is always interested in making friends. There's more. I've already sent a report to the Galactic Database Administration. I'm recommending Earth's classification be changed. Changed how? From prohibited world, do not approach, to potential ally, approach with respect. Zixanth saw Reeves's expression. Is that acceptable? More than acceptable. Thank you. They were interrupted by Lieutenant Park's voice over the communication system. Captain, the Valorian crew is ready to depart. They're requesting First Scholar Zixanth return to their vessel. Understood. Reeves turned to Zixanth and held out her hand in the human gesture of farewell. Safe travels, First Scholar. Zixanth carefully took her hand. The first time he had seen humans do this, he thought it was some kind of threat display. Now he understood it was a gesture of respect and friendship. Safe travels, Captain. Until we meet again. Back on the Valorian ship, the crew gathered to watch the human vessel depart. The Indomitable's engines glowed bright blue as it turned away from them. The massive ship moved with grace and power, heading back toward human space. They're really leaving, Plick said quietly. Yes, Zixanth replied. I'll miss them. Is that strange? No, I'll miss them too. Young Tixith moved closer to the viewing port. First Scholar, will we see them again? I hope so. I believe we will. Zixanth pulled up the star charts. Look, Earth is 3 systems from our homeworld. We're neighbors in galactic terms. I suspect we'll be seeing a lot of humanity in the future. The Valorian crew began their journey home, escorted by the gentle collective vessels. During the long trip, Zixanth wrote his official report. He wrote about the engine failure, the rescue, the battle with the Kresh. But he also wrote about human culture, human strength, and human kindness. He wrote about Dr. Rodriguez treating a Valorian child who had been injured during the crisis, using gentle hands despite her incredible strength. He wrote about Ensign Williams teaching Tixith about Earth's oceans, patiently answering hundreds of questions. He wrote about Lieutenant Chen working 18 hours straight to repair their engines, refusing to rest until the job was done. He wrote about Captain Reeves, who had risked her ship and crew for strangers, who had fought pirates without hesitation, and who had asked for nothing in return. When the Valorian ship finally arrived at their homeworld, news of their rescue had already spread. The Galactic Communication Network had picked up the story. Other species were talking about what had happened. Zixanth was called before the Valorian High Council to give a full report. The council chamber was filled with the highest-ranking members of their government. All of them wanted to hear about the humans firsthand. First Scholar Zixanth, the head counselor began. Your report is extraordinary. Humans defeated 3 Kresh warships? Yes, Counselor, easily. And they did this to protect you? Yes, Counselor. Why? What did they want? Nothing. They wanted nothing except to help. The council members whispered among themselves. This was unprecedented. Species from Deathworlds were supposed to be aggressive and selfish, but these humans had been neither. We've received communication from the Gentle Collective, another counselor said. Ambassador Keltoth confirms your story. He also says the humans treated the Kresh prisoners well. They gave them medical care and proper food. They followed all galactic laws regarding captives. That's correct, Zixanth confirmed. Humans have a strong moral code. They believe in justice, not revenge. The database shows Earth is classified as highly dangerous. The planet is dangerous, Zixanth said. The people are not. Or rather, they're only dangerous if you threaten someone they're protecting. Otherwise, they're remarkably kind. The head counselor leaned forward. First scholar, you're recommending we establish formal relations with humanity. Are you certain this is wise? Zixanth thought about everything he had seen. The human crew working tirelessly. Captain Reeves standing firm against the creche. The gentle way Dr. Rodriguez had bandaged Tixeth's wound. The pride in Ensign Williams's voice when he talked about his home. Yes, counselor. I'm certain. Humans will be a major power in the galaxy soon. They're strong, smart, and determined. We can either make them our friends now or face them as unknowns later. I choose friendship, the council voted. It was unanimous. Valoria would open diplomatic relations with Earth. Over the following months, things changed quickly. Word spread about the human rescue of the Valorian ship. Other species began to reconsider their opinions about Deathworlders. Some remained fearful, but others were curious. The Gentle Collective invited human ambassadors to their capital world. A dozen other species sent formal greetings to Earth. Trade agreements were proposed. Cultural exchanges were planned. Humanity was stepping onto the galactic stage and the galaxy was taking notice. 6 months after the rescue, Zixanth received an unexpected message. It was from Captain Reeves. First scholar, I hope this finds you well. The Indomitable is passing through your system again. We're on our way to establish Earth's first embassy with the Gentle Collective. If you have time, I'd love to meet for a meal. We have something to show you. Zixanth immediately agreed. When the Indomitable arrived, he traveled up to meet them. Captain Reeves greeted him warmly, then led him to the ship's observation deck. We heard about the diplomatic progress, Reeves said. Earth's government wanted to thank you properly. They made something for you. She gestured to the viewing port. Outside, a satellite floated in space. On its side was an inscription in both English and Valorian script. In memory of the day 2 species became friends. When Deathworlders answered a call for help and proved that strength should protect, not destroy. May this friendship last forever. Zixanth felt emotion well up inside him. This is beautiful. It's a communication relay, Reeves explained. It will make messages between Earth and Valoria instant instead of delayed. We wanted to make sure we could always stay in contact. Your people did this for us? Of course. You're our friends. That simple statement carried so much weight. Friends. Despite the differences in biology, culture, and history, humans considered the Valorians friends. Later, sitting in the dining hall with the human crew, Zixanth asked Reeves about humanity's future plans. We're expanding carefully, she said. We know other species are nervous about us. We don't want to scare anyone. But we also won't hide who we are. And who are you? Zixanth asked. How do humans see themselves? Reeves thought about it. We're survivors. We're explorers. We're protectors.